What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Halo Effect podcast. I'm recording this episode out of the living room here in my house. It is Christmas Eve. Finally had some time to be able to do like a little setup here in my living room. And ready to record this episode. Did a little setup here, set up my camera, my computer, the Rodecaster, and, looking at my Christmas tree over there on the corner. And this is a surreal moment. I have worked really hard to be able to have my own Christmas tree in my house, have gifts under the tree, and now I'm recording content out of my living room with a pretty nice background. Green has been a favorite color of mine for the last couple of years, which is why I have the gold and green backdrop here. Originally, when I was growing up, my favorite color was purple. There's been a transition, I don't know from what or where, but lately the color green has really been drawing my attention, and it's a color that I enjoy a lot, and it pops, and it's the reason why I'm wearing a green hoodie right now as well. So I like green. The heart chakra color is green, and I think that that's why I'm so drawn to that color, because my heart chakra is probably the most open it's ever been, and I really feel like I'm at the point in my life where I am starting to attract things into my life as opposed to focusing on chasing things, right? And I think that that's an important transition that I've made in my life, is learning how to attract things, obviously putting in the effort to be able to go after things and put in the work to be able to create things, because I do think that that's important as well. However, I've been a lot more patient, less attached to outcomes, to people, less attached to a lot of things, honestly, and it really has made a difference in my life. And I think that that's a good segue into this episode, is just talking about the importance of allowing things to happen, which is important as we near the end of 2024, heading into 2025. I think that it's very important to get crystal clear about what it is that you want to achieve in 2025. Obviously, I grew up with New Year's resolutions and that being a whole thing, and I'm sure that a lot of you have as well. And honestly, stopped doing New Year's resolutions a long time ago. I never really focused on New Year's resolutions, and I'm not lying to you when I say this. I never really did New Year's resolutions, and I don't do them now. I don't really focus on them. And the reason why I don't focus on New Year's resolutions is because I believe in commitment. I believe in, identifying what it is that I want to do and committing to it every day, not just on, a perceived new year, new start, although it is, sense, kind of refreshing for me to know that there's technically a new year, around the corner. However, for me, it's just, January 1st is just the next day. It's just another day sometimes. And so for me, what's most important is consistency and commitment, identifying what I'm going to commit to for the year and then actively working towards it every single day. And I try to remind myself as often as possible on a daily basis of what my goals are, what my metrics are. And I've already taken time, this year in 2024, I typically do use the fourth quarter to obviously finish the year strong, but also I take the time to be able to reflect and set goals for 2025, and that's something that I've done this year as well. It's something that I've done in years prior, and honestly, it really has helped out immensely in terms of helping me achieve my goals and grow my business and grow myself. And so I am a huge advocate of taking time, especially towards the end of every year, to be able to plan for the following year. I'm sure some people plan maybe at the end of every month or at the end of every quarter. I think that it all really depends on where you are with your personal, your business, and, where you want to take it. And that's definitely something that's personal, subjective in terms of, how often you want to plan, how often you want to review goals and everything like that. For me, after as we roll into 2025, I'm definitely going to make it a point to be able to, focus on my goals a lot more, focus on reviewing my goals at the end of every quarter. I definitely want to be able to understand my metrics and KPIs That's something that's very important for any business owner, honestly, is to review your numbers, review, your leads, review your closings, review, how many followers you need, how many people you need to reach out to, how many new people you need in your database. These are all things that I've identified in terms of my goals. And so now it's just a daily active thing to be able to achieve those goals, right? I have to put it into practice. So I have goals around many things, right? I have goals around personal. I have goals around business. I have goals around social media. I have goals around travel. I want to travel at least 4 times in 2025 for personal reasons. And then however many other times I need to travel for business reasons and business ventures. I really am being super, super, super hyper intentional in 2025 about what it is that I want. I definitely am going to double my business in 2025. This year, I closed 15 transactions as a real estate agent, solo real estate agent here in Denver. And my goal is to double that number or even triple it. My stretch goal is 45 deals closed, or double it with 30 deals closed. And so I'm very excited about that. I understand how many calls I need to make. I understand how many how many new leads I need in my CRM. I understand how many events I want to throw in 2025. I understand all these numbers. And for me, what's very important right now is to be able to set up the systems and processes to be able to sustain that. A business with just willpower can only get so far. The people that really have success, the entrepreneurs and business owners that really have success, have structure behind their business. They have systems and processes, and systems and processes ensure that every transaction essentially gets treated the same way. In a sense, obviously everybody's different. However, you need the structure to be the same every single time, so you know what to expect and your client knows what to expect. And for me, those KPIs are important. So I guess this episode is more so geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners. I definitely want to be able to make more episodes around this stuff or this topic, and make episodes around real estate for my clients, right? So as I continue to push out content, I'll be able to push out content to all the different types of people that either I help or can help as a business owner, as a first generation business owner as well. So definitely looking forward to continue to make these episodes. And I've been feeling really passionate lately about talking about business, helping people out, especially because I am a first generation Mexican American entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I've really just done this and figured out how to do it, and I am figuring out how to do it myself. And essentially what I'm focusing on the most right now is running my real estate business and growing that business, right? However, I've added different avenues of business this year in 2024 that are going to grow in 2025, and I only foresee myself adding more revenue streams and more ways of doing business in the future. And so I'm really passionate about being able to help, especially Latino and Mexican American, first generation Mexican American entrepreneurs, because this is all something that's new to us. Nobody has taught us about entrepreneurship. Obviously, I feel like we see it within our family members, right? Because we're hustlers. We like to work. We enjoy working. And so if you're anything like me, your mom and dad had jobs and then they had side hustles. For my parents, my dad would do mechanic work on the weekends, right? After he was done with his 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, on the weekends, he would do mechanical work on cars. He was a mechanic growing up. That was one of his first jobs. And so he always kept that skill set and was able to make additional money as I was growing up. And my mom would make tamales. She would make burritos, and she would take them to work sites on the weekends and sell burritos and make additional money on the weekends as well. And so, entrepreneurship is in us. It's in our blood. We love to hustle. We love to grind. We love to make things happen. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about it, because there's a lot of opportunity within entrepreneurship and business, especially for a Latino. And we just have to learn the things that we don't know, right? We have to learn the things that we don't know. We have to understand the nuances about business, because that's really what's going to separate you as a business owner, is understanding the nuances of how to run a business, how to talk to people, how to be a leader. These are all things that I'm actively learning right now. I don't want to come off as an expert or anything. However, these are all things that I'm actively learning how to do right now. And the reason why I'm passionate about sharing kind of, what I'm doing and empowering other people to do it as well is because I understand how much my parents struggled and the sacrifices that they have made to give me a better opportunity. And although I've had better opportunity, it doesn't mean that it has been easy, right? Because there's systems in place. We're generations behind on this, and I don't care whose fault it is. I'm not going to put blame on them or me or us or whomever. I think that the right mindset to have is, all right, this is where I'm at now, and this is what I need to do about it to be able to better my situation, better my family situation. Because really, the way that I've seen business and just the economy go, especially since I've been in business, is that the future is kind of blurry. Like it's very, things are very unstable, and you really don't know what's going to happen long term. And I think that the best thing to do and the best way to protect ourselves is to take matters into our own hands and better our own personal situation. And to be able to better our own personal financial situation is to understand business and how money works and how we can generate additional income. And we don't know those things unless we educate ourselves. So whether that be through a book, whether that be through this podcast, whether that be through social media, there's different ways to educate yourself on what you can do to be able to better your situation as a business owner and entrepreneur. I see a ton of people being successful, a ton of first generation Mexican American and Latino entrepreneurs being successful, selling things, selling clothes, selling hats, providing services. And that is only the beginning. That is only the very beginning, the very first step of being a business owner. Once you've made money, you have to understand, tax codes and how to run your taxes and how to buy investments, how to underwrite investments, how to review investments so that you ensure that that investment is going to give you the highest return on investment, the highest ROI for what it is that you're paying for that investment. One of the things that I'm learning is how money works. An example of that is, I was just thinking about this today that, my mom owes a certain amount on her mortgage. I've always wanted to pay, buy my mom a house. That was always a dream of mine when I was growing up. Buy my mom and her parents, my dad too, a house. And, I was thinking about this as I was driving earlier, and I was like, what if I made that amount? What if I just had excess cash to be able to pay off her house? And because I've learned certain things throughout time, I'm able to know now that that's not the best use of my money. That's not going to give me the highest and best cash on cash return. And the reason why I say that is because think about it. If I'm taking this lump sum of money and I'm paying off my mom's mortgage, it's going to take me years before I'm able to make that money back, before that house is able to give me that money back on a monthly basis. Now, I would have obviously that in equity on the property if I ever needed to tap into it. However, there's a limit as to how much you can, the bank limits you as to how much you can tap into, how much equity you could tap into the property. And so your money essentially, for the most part, you're able to tap into it, but some of it's going to be tied up from the bank. And so on the flip side, the way that I saw it was, if I were to have this big lump sum of cash, it'll make more sense for me to use that cash to make me an additional lump sum of that cash, and then take that cash, invest it into investments that are going to return even more on top of that, right? So It's about knowing how to use your money, knowing how to understand the returns of every single asset class, understanding how long your money is going to be tied up, understanding when you're going to be able to make that money back. So these are all things that you have to know and understand in business. And for me, the way that I've been able to get this understanding is just being around people that are doing it, reading books, podcasts. That's essentially it. But for me, the most important thing is being around people that are doing it and then taking action and doing it myself. And so, for 2025, one of my goals is to buy one or two more houses, which, I'm looking forward to doing at least 4 to 8 fix and flips. I started doing a fix and flips here in 2024 as an additional income stream. And I plan to continue to grow that side of my investment, that side of my business, and continue providing the best quality service for people who are looking to buy and sell and invest in real estate here in Denver. So yeah, very excited for 2025. Excited to continue to pour into other entrepreneurs and talk about my journey as a first generation Mexican American Latino entrepreneur here in the United States. So I started off this episode talking about how I am literally in my living room shooting this podcast episode. I am at a place right now where I have a house that inspires me to create, a house that provides me the opportunity to come and lay my head here and rest up, recharge, take the time and space that I need for myself. And that is something that I had written down a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I wrote down the top 10 things that I need in my life, in my ideal life, in order for me to feel happy and fulfilled. At, I believe it was number 7 or number 8, I wrote down that I want to be able to have a space that inspires me. I want to be able to have a space that I can call home. And that is what I have created. I was crystal clear about what it is that I wanted, and now I have created that. And this is only the first home of many properties that I'm going to buy. I know that for sure. However, the principle for me stays the same. The goal stays the same. Right? I want to continue to build off of what I have already created here. And I think that the reason why that goal is so important for me is because growing up in my household, there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of chaos from an early age. I remember some of my earliest memories had to do with my parents fighting, with family members getting chased across the duplex area we were living in the north side of Denver, getting chased by the police. Uncles fighting each other and stabbing each other. These are things that I kind of grew up watching at a very young age, and it kind of persisted as I grew up. Parents were going through it, arguing. The relationship was very unstable growing up, and so I was able to be around. I wasn't able to be, but I was unfortunately around that chaos growing up, and so it was very chaotic, just kind of environment. And I didn't necessarily like to be home all the time, and so I would hang out with friends a lot. I'd stay busy. I would play multiple sports in high school, and that was a way that I kind of distracted myself from things and created my own space and peace. And my friends growing up, my boys growing up at that time, provided an extra kind of brotherhood that I needed at the time. And I think that that's why I was so passionate about buying my own property and creating my own space, a space where it just felt peaceful, that was, designed the way that I wanted to be. And there's a lot of mixed messages out there as far as home ownership and if it's worth it, this and that. Everybody's going to have their own opinion about it because everybody has different goals. But for me, just for that simple aspect, aside from the investment side of things and it being an asset that grows in value over time, the very simple fact of having my own space that I could call home, that feels good, that feels comfortable, is there's no price tag on that for me. And so I know a lot of people seek the same thing, especially if you've been renting for a long time. You just want to be able to have your own house, your own space. You don't have to deal with landlords. You don't have to deal with neighbors. You don't have to deal with worrying about crime or somebody breaking into your car because you're renting at an apartment complex. Like, granted, you do have to worry about those things even when you own a home sometimes, but there's just a peace that comes with you owning your own property, right? So long as you can make the monthly mortgage payment. That's very important. But yeah, super grateful, super blessed as 2024 wraps up. I just want to continue to work hard and provide quality service, help people out, achieve my dream and goal, financial freedom, generational wealth, make smart moves in 2025. That's very important for me. Make quality relationships, quality business partners that want to get to the same goal, common goals as myself, and keep building. I feel immensely grateful for what it is that I've been able to build so far, all really off of just sweat and hard work. And I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else. I watched my parents do that for years, just getting up bright and early, going to work, even through the Great Recession, even through tough times, just figuring it out. And that's all I know. And I know that no matter what it is that comes my way, I won't be able to figure it out. And I have figured it out. And there's been a lot of just obstacles. There's been, trials and tribulations and tough times and things that have happened that if I wasn't so strong mentally, those things would, have held me up and slowed me down, but they didn't. And so it's just persistence and perseverance. You can't defeat somebody who's always willing to get up off the canvas. You can't defeat somebody who's always just willing to continue and keep going. That's what you have to have. And sometimes you have to pull it out of you from the deepest depths of who you are. You know what I mean? But you have to have that type of mindset and that type of willpower to be able to create and be able to survive, especially when you didn't grow up, especially when you grew up like myself and you didn't grow up knowing everything that you needed to know to be successful. We have to put in a lot of work up front as Latinos, first generation, to be able to succeed in this country. And I think that there's the benefit that we have is that there's powers in numbers. The benefit that we have is that there's power in numbers. There's a lot of us, and we're multiplying quickly because that's what we like to do. That's what we like to do. We like to multiply. And so we need to use that to our advantage. And it's not to, overpower or overthrow anybody. I don't think that's the right mindset, but just to be able to create, to be able to take care of our people. That's what it's all about. And so I hope that as we go into 2025, vision gets clear for you, and you understand exactly what it is that you want and need to accomplish. And most importantly, you work with the right people. You need to partner with the right people that have, good intentions. And so with that being said, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, let me know. More than happy to help you out, guide you in the right direction. Or if you have a business, and you're looking to scale a business, you're looking to start a business, and you need some guidance, let me know. I'm more than happy to connect with you, offer some services around that as well. So many things, so many services that I'm able to offer, right? I offer consulting services where I help businesses get started. I help businesses scale and grow. I help businesses find financing and money they need to be able to scale their business. I help with real estate, purchases, residential, commercial, mortgages. I help with business sales and business acquisitions, SBA loans. There's just so many services that I'm able to offer my community to be able to help them, create a better life. And if you're in that position where you need help in any of those areas, make sure you reach out to me. You connect with me on social media. I'm more than happy to, guide you in the right direction, give you the right information, and help you grow in 2025 because that's what it's all about. So with that being said, thank you all for hopping on to another episode of the Halo Effect podcast, and blessings in 2025.